Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD. In my month 14 creator update video, friend of the channel, Tara, suggested that we do a favorite cocktails in Disney World topic. Thanks so much for the suggestion, what a fun video. I am going to put a little spin on this. In this video, we'll be talking about some of my favorite drinks I've had in the past and also some drinks I'm looking forward to consuming in the future. This video is going to heavily focus on alcohol, so if that's not your thing, no worries. Please do check out other more friendly content on my channel. But if you do want to discuss drinking at Disney, stay tuned. First, let's start with drinks I've consumed in the past, and these are in no particular order. I'd like to start by saying I think getting any drink in the Magic Kingdom is really fun. There hasn't necessarily been a drink that I've gotten during table service dining at Magic Kingdom that's really been a wow or a standout. I'm just old enough to remember when Magic Kingdom was totally dry, so I think it's really fun to be able to drink at all inside that park. I know this policy change is not particularly new anymore, but hey, it's important to take joy in the little things. The first real entry is less of a drink and more of a treat, and that is Dole Whip with rum. I personally like to get this as a snack while I'm at the Animal Kingdom theme park. Usually you can find this at Tamu Tamu Refreshments in the Africa section of the park. However, this is not exclusive to Animal Kingdom. I believe you can also get this treat in Disney Springs and Marketplace Snacks, at Pineapple Lanai in the Polynesian Resort, and at the Pineapple Promenade in Epcot. In my experience, they literally just pump out some Dole Whip into a cup and then add a shot of rum on top. I do like to mix it in a little bit so you aren't consuming just straight alcohol, you're not just basically taking a shot of rum. But being 2 ingredients only, if you enjoy Dole Whip and you enjoy rum, this is probably a great treat for you. Alright, and we can't move on from the Animal Kingdom theme park without touching on Nomad Lounge. This is the lounge attached to the signature dining option there, Tiffin's. I've not yet consumed every drink on this menu, but every drink I have tried has been absolutely fantastic. As a disclaimer, I'm more of a consumer of the alcohol itself rather than the education behind what different spirits are and what goes into mixing cocktails and all of that kind of stuff. I just enjoy the drinking part, I really don't look into the background. That being said, I'm surely going to mispronounce a bunch of ingredients in the rest of this video. At Nomad Lounge, one of the drinks I really love is the Leaping Lizard. The main alcohols in here are pineapple rum and kachaka, which is a spirit made from fermented sugarcane. Then you've got some various juices like passion fruit, orange, and mango. The Annapurna Zing is also one of my go-tos. This is a gin-based drink. In addition, it comes with passion fruit puree, lime juice, and it's topped off with some ginger beer. The drinks at Nomad Lounge have that same tiki drink sort of taste profile, but honestly, it's a lot more chill and relaxed and a lot easier to get into than Trader Sam's. Also, if you happen to be at the Animal Kingdom Park, it's right there. You don't have to make a special trip out to the Polynesian to get your tiki drinks at Trader Sam's. Go enjoy the Nomad Lounge. Next up on my personal list is the margarita flight over at the Hollywood Brown Derby Lounge. You get small-sized margaritas of all 3 flavors, that's classic, blood orange, and pomegranate. I'm a sucker for most anything pomegranate, and I do really like blood orange in my drinks, so overall this is just a great flight for me personally. I know the margaritas in Epcot's Mexico Pavilion are much more popular and arguably better, but I really enjoy this flight. Part of this is the atmosphere. I like sitting outside in that lounge, taking a break, and people watching. It's nice to be able to get bits and pieces from the Hollywood Brown Derby without committing to a full meal there. If margaritas aren't your thing, they also have martinis, including a martini flight. And while you can sit there and enjoy the peaceful atmosphere like I do, you can get these drinks to go as well. Similarly, over at Tune In Lounge, which is the lounge attached to 50's Primetime Cafe, you can get drinks to go. They have a lot of fun options, but I went for a kind of boring magical star cocktail when we were there. It does come with this fun glow cube. This cocktail is mostly rum along with mango and passion fruit liqueurs and some pineapple juice. It's a very tasty and fun drink. That being said, it's absolutely not exclusive to Tune In Lounge or even Hollywood Studios. You can find the Magical Star cocktail at a lot of bars around Walt Disney World. Oga's Cantina in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios is also really fun. The drinks are arguably overpriced. You absolutely are paying for the atmosphere of being in Oga's. But the drinks are still good, and many of them are pretty strong. Most of them are pre-mixed, just FYI, but I don't really find that to be a problem, honestly. My favorite thus far has been the Yub Nub. The Yub Nub is made from a couple of different rums as well as citrus juices and passion fruit juice. This thing, when I had it, was surprisingly strong. I really felt it more than I was expecting. And I was there with some friends, one of whom is a very large male, and he even noted that he really felt it. It packed a punch. We may have just gotten lucky with the pre-mix that day, but I'm just saying I would drink that again for sure. I thought it was worth the money. It does come in a very fancy Endor cup, which you can purchase to take home, but you don't have to. You can buy just the drink. They will serve it to you in the fancy cup, and then they take it back. You just don't get the cup with you. Outside of the parks, let's mosey on over to Disney Springs. There are a ton of options here, and they're basically all great, but my favorite by far is Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. I've had several of the drink options here, and they've all been really fantastic and very well balanced. I'm a big fan of Shorty's Singapore Sling. This is gin, a couple of liqueurs that I think are cherry and orange, some fruit juices, and a touch of grenadine. It is on the sweeter side of things, but like I said, whatever they do to balance it out works. Thus far, this is my favorite version of Singapore sling I've ever had. Moving on, this entire video could probably be about options located at the Polynesian resort. We have already discussed that over at Pineapple Lanai, you can get that Dole Whip with a shot of rum. Then there's a lounge next to Ohana, which is called Tambu Lounge. This is one of my favorite places on property. Here you can get the Lapu Lapu. This is a very rum-forward drink served in an entire pineapple. You can get it without the pineapple. It's a few dollars cheaper, but I think the pineapple part is really fun. I also enjoy the back scratcher a lot, which again, primarily I believe is a rum drink, but there is some hints of whiskey. I've not consumed the entire drink menu at Tambu Lounge yet, but literally everything I've had so far, including all of my partner's drinks and all of my friends' drinks, have been amazing. You really can't go wrong here. The same is true at Trader Sam's. All of those drinks are super delicious. That being said, I am kind of basic, so I like to go for the spiky pineapple, which again is Dole Whip with rum. This time at least it is pre-blended for you, so you don't have to do that work. You can also pay a small upcharge to have an extra float of rum added. I have not previously thought of myself as a rum person, but creating this list is certainly proving my self-perceptions incorrect. Let's move on to drinks I want to try. Off property, I really want to try out Wine Bar George. I'm not sure that there is a single drink there I necessarily want, but I just generally love wine bars overall, and I've heard really great things about this place. Between the accessible wine list, the cocktails, and the food, which I've also heard is great, I cannot wait to get here. Next, let's move to on property. I really want to try out the Enchanted Rose at the Grand Floridian. My partner and I had been to the prior lounge, Meisner's, and had a really lovely time there. The Enchanted Rose definitely seems to be a step up in terms of price, but the theming looks absolutely gorgeous. And it seems like the quality of alcohol they use in some of the drinks may also be a little bit improved. There is a tiki-esque sounding drink there called the Island Rose, which I'm very interested in trying. It's also one of the cheaper options on the menu, which I'm not gonna lie probably sways my decision a little bit. Many of those drinks are in the $20 mark or higher. But you're paying for the atmosphere and the experience, and honestly, when you're on vacation, particularly Disney World, I just expect inflated costs. Moving to a different resort, if I find myself over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I would love to do a wine flight at Victoria Falls Lounge. They have a Chenin Blanc that I've heard amazing things about, and in general, that's one of my favorite varietals for white wine. Maybe I would skip the flight and just get a glass of wine. Either way, I think it would be fun to spend some time drinking over at Victoria Falls Lounge. I'm not sure we'll make it out there in this next trip, but I certainly like staying in the Animal Kingdom villas, so I'm sure it'll happen again in the future. Then there's the Riviera Resort, which my partner and I really haven't properly explored yet. They have a ton of libations that I'm interested in, particularly some options over at Bar Riva. There are many to choose from, and I'm sure it will depend on my mood that day. At the moment, I am most interested in trying a drink called the Coco di Paradiso. The alcohols in here are going to be pineapple rum and April, which I think sounds really good together. Then it's mixed with coconut water, pineapple juice, and lime juice. Given the rest of my list, this drink sounds really right up my alley. Moving to theme parks, Epcot has a ton of drinks I want to try. I don't think I'm brave enough to drink around the world. That's quite the feat, and I really don't want to be that person in Disney World, but we'll see. The France Pavilion kiosk usually has alcoholic slush drinks, and I've never had one of those before, so I really want to try it. I think that could be a fun substitute for my usual go-to of a frozen margarita. Instead, I could get a frozen Grand Marnier slush. Then still in World Showcase, but over at Mitsukoshi, which is the shop in the Japan Pavilion, there's a bar in the back actually that's a sake bar. I have had sake in Epcot when dining at Teppan Edo before, and I really enjoyed that. I've walked past the sake bar before, and it's kind of in the back, and that store is so big and overwhelming that I think a lot of people skip it in general or don't find their way back to the bar. My point is, usually it looks pretty empty. So not only do I think it would be fun to do some sake tastings while we're there, I think it would be a nice break away from the hustle and bustle of the theme park, assuming it stays kind of empty. And finally, over in Hollywood Studios, I am pretty interested in trying the blue and or green milk, probably spiked with alcohol if we're being honest. On our last trip, we did have the opportunity to try out the milks, and we just didn't. But on this next trip, since we'll be there for a little bit longer, it's definitely something I see myself being interested in. And honestly, I assume they're going to taste better with the alcohol. If you have consumed the blue and or green milk with or without alcohol, let me know what you think in the comments down below. They seem very divisive. Specific for our upcoming trip, because we will be staying in the Crescent Lake area, I am a little bit more focused on dining locations there. I had not previously considered Ale and Compass Lounge to be a must-do, and I think that's probably true, but I am interested in popping in there for a drink. They have a cocktail called the Northeast Avenue, which looks fantastic. This is whiskey, brandy, pomegranate juice, passion fruit juice, and then topped with some cardamom bitters. That sounds like a special cocktail that is worth going out of my way for. These are basically my top to-dos when it comes to drinking in Disney, both things I've done in the past and things I want to do in the future. But honestly, I made this video for extremely selfish reasons. I want to hear from you. There are so many options at Walt Disney World, so I would love to hear your recommendations. Leave a comment down below about your favorite specific drinks at Walt Disney World, or just the overall place if you think the whole menu is great. We can also chat about this outside of YouTube over on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at PixieDustPhD. Clearly, I have a very strong type when it comes to drinks, and that is fruity but not overly sweet. I don't really love smoky, so mezcal is a big no for me, but other than that, I'm down for basically any base spirit. I enjoy whiskey, gin, tequila, vodka, you name it, basically other than mezcal, and I'm game. I can't wait to hear your recommendations, and hopefully I can report back on all the various drinks we consume after my next trip to the most magical place on Earth. Thanks so much to everyone who did leave a like on the video and who has subscribed to the channel. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.